Hello everyone, I Mukesh Tiwari welcome everybody in the Smart Exam Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about the first War of Independence, which is the first chapter of your history book ICSE Board Class 10. Because this chapter is a very long run, it's a very long chapter, so we have divided this video into different parts. And in this part, we are going to understand about the main causes of the revolt of 1857, which are the political causes, the social causes, religious causes, economic causes, and finally the military causes. We will also discuss about the different consequences about the revolt of 1857, and we will also discuss about the important terms which are necessary for your board exams. However, the events of the revolt of 1857 are not included in your syllabus, but still, to maintain the continuity of the chapter, we will discuss that also. So let's begin. Thank you. Welcome back in the Smart Exam Academy. We are here to discuss the first War of Independence, which is the first chapter of ICSE book class 10. The first War of Independence took place in 1857. So many reasons are responsible for the first War of Independence. It was not a sudden incident, but the British rule were themselves responsible for this revolt. Indian people had no other alternative but to express their grievances against the British Empire in the violent manner. The British people were themselves responsible for this war. It was for the first time that Indian people took up arms against the exploitation, and they decided to teach the British Empire a lesson which they will never forget in the history. So let's begin. So many causes are responsible for this revolt. So we are going to discuss about the beginning of this revolt. The Enfield rifle. The introduction of the Enfield rifle was treated as the immediate cause of the revolt of 1857. It was a new rifle which was introduced in the Indian Army, the British Indian Army. The range of the Enfield rifle was very longer, but the main problem of the Enfield rifle is that the cartridge of the Enfield rifle has to be teared off. The cover of the cartridge of the Enfield rifle has to tear it off to be loaded in the rifle. And the rumor spreaded that the cartridge contained the fat of pig and cow. On the one side, the pig is treated as unclean animal in the Islamic religion, and cow is treated as a holy animal in the Hindu religion. So both Hindus and Muslims got irritated against the British Empire, and they decided to take up arms to teach the British Empire a lesson and to start the rebellion. So here you can see it is the introductory part of the revolt of 1857. The loading process of the Enfield rifle involved tearing the cartridge and biting off the greased paper with the mouth. So a rumor spreaded that the cover of the Enfield rifle contained the fat of pig and cow. So both Hindus and the Muslims became angry on this step of the British Empire, that their religion is in danger. So they decided to oppose the introduction of the Enfield rifle, and they also disobeyed the order of the British people. Let's move. The revolt first occurred in the Barakpur when a Brahmin soldier, Mangal Pandey, refused to use the Enfield rifle, and he also killed two British officers, and that was the beginning of the revolt of 1857. He was hanged till death. He was hanged by neck till death, Mangal Pandey. But after the execution of Mangal Pandey on 8 April 1857, this incident spread it in the other parts of India as a fire. And taking the inspiration from Mangal Pandey, the revolt started spreading in Meerut, Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi and many other places, mainly in the northern India. And this was the beginning of the revolt of 1857. The Enfield rifle is also called the immediate cause. If a question comes, what is the immediate cause of the revolt of 1857 or first war of independence? It is said that the Enfield rifle. You have to write the whole story of the Enfield rifle. The cartridge has to be loaded after tearing it off from the mouth, and the cover of the bullet or the cover of the cartridge contained the fat of pig and cow. It has to be mentioned in the answer. So I hope this incident you have understood about this. Let's move. So this is the small picture of Mangal Pandey. Now we are going to discuss about the main causes of the revolt of 1857. Here 1857, or also called the first war of independence. Now you should remember that there are differences among the historians regarding the name of this revolt. Some historians has told it as a revolt of 1857, and some historians have said that it is a first war of independence. First time the first war of independence was told by V.D. Savarkar. V.D. Savarkar was a person who called it as the first war of independence. So still there are disagreement among the historians of treating it as the first war of independence or a natural rebellion. So if we talk about the causes, there are too many causes: political cause, economic cause, socio-religious cause, military cause, and the immediate cause. Immediate cause is also called, that is the Enfield rifle, also come under the military cause. So you should remember that it happened, the revolt of 1857 happened when Lord Canning was a governor general of India. And another thing, he was the last governor general of India. He was the last governor of India, and he was the last viceroy. He was the first viceroy and governor general of India, because the viceroy title was added after the revolt of 1857. So during that time, the governor general of India was Lord Canning at the time of the revolt of 1857, and Lord Canning became the first governor general and viceroy of India. So the revolt of 1857, so many causes are there, so we are going to understand each of them in a detailed manner. This is a small picture of the revolt of 1857. Let's move ahead. The political cause. If we talk about the political cause, the doctrine of lapse was mainly responsible for the revolt of 1857. Now, what was the meaning of the doctrine of lapse? The doctrine of lapse means it was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. It was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. According to the doctrine of lapse, if a king dies without any natural heir or without any natural son, his kingdom will automatically go under the control of the British Empire. So it was illegal, and the Indian kingdoms were against the doctrine of lapse. But somehow, under the doctrine of lapse, many kingdoms came under the control of the British Empire. That is Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur, Sambhalpur came under the control of the British Empire. So it was very unpopular, and the rulers of the different states became the bitter enemies of the British Empire. So doctrine of lapse was started by Lord Dalhousie. Under the doctrine of lapse, if a king dies without any natural heir, his kingdom will automatically go under the control of the British Empire. So I hope everybody has been able to understand this point. So let's move ahead. Another cause, Nana Sahib, who was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II. Peshwa means the minister. The Peshwa means minister. Nana Sahib was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II. He was the adopted son, and so his pension was refused. Even it is said that Nana Sahib inherited a large amount of property, but it was embezzled, it was captured by the British Empire. Large property, but it was captured by the British Empire, and even the pension was also refused because Nana Sahib was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II. It was so Nana Sahib also became angry against the British Empire, and he was also in fray to take the revenge from the British Empire, and he participated in the rebellion. So these were the main kingdoms. Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur and Sambhalpur were annexed according to the doctrine of lapse. So it was also the another cause. Discourtesy to the Mughal Empire. Actually, at that time, at the revolt of 1857, the Mughal Empire was Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar. He was a Mughal emperor, but he was a Mughal emperor for the name only. His age was 82. He was a very older person. So, Lord Dalhousie said that after the death of Bahadur Shah, his king, the title king, would vanish. His successors of the Bahadur Shah Zafar, will not use the king. And even Lord Canning said that everybody has to leave the Red Fort and they have to go elsewhere. So another thing, these two things were a dishonor to the Emperor of India, to the Mughal Emperor. So Indian people also get irritated and also became angry. All the Muslim people and all the Indian people became angry on the British Empire, and they decided to prepare for the attack. So the successors of Bahadur Shah Zafar would not be permitted to use the Red Fort, as a palace, and they had to shift to the Qutub Minar or any other places, wherever they want to go, they can go. So everybody started preparing for a rebellion. Next one, annexation of Awadh. Awadh was also annexed. It was included into the British Empire because of the maladministration, because of the mismanagement. At the time of the rebellion of 1857, the Nawab of Awadh was Wajid Ali Shah. Wajid Ali Shah. So he was the Nawab of Awadh. His empire was forcefully included into the British Empire. Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. His empire was forcefully included into the British Empire. And Lord Dalhousie was mainly responsible for the annexation of Awadh. So the people became angry because one by one kingdom were being annexed into the British Empire, and the people could not tell anything, could not oppose. So every people thought that the revolt of 1857 is the time when we can take revenge of all these mismanagement done by the British Empire. So it was another cause. Let's move. So this is the small picture, Nana Sahib and Wajid Ali Shah. On the one side, Nana Sahib was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II, and Wajid Ali Shah was a Nawab of Awadh. Now, the Queen of Wajid Ali Shah also participated in the revolt of 1857. Begum Hajrat Mahal. Begum Hajrat Mahal. Hajrat Mahal. So she was also a great lady. She had a great personality. From Lucknow, she was giving the leadership to the Indian army, Indian soldiers against the British people. So these two were important personalities of that time. Let's move. Fifth was unpopular administration. The British administration was very unpopular. Exploitation was extreme. So much exploitation was there. The people were unhappy because of the mismanagement of the British Empire. All the high officers all the high posts were reserved for the British people only. Indian people even had no place in the high officers of the British administration. Indians were completely excluded. Indian people were exploited. Indian people were becoming poorer day by day. So all these factors made the British administration very unpopular, and the people were very unhappy. So they wanted to get rid of the exploitation of the British Empire anyhow. Now, floating rumors, it is also a very important cause. So I hope that you are sitting with a pen and paper and you are listening and you are writing the main points. All these points are very necessary, and even short questions can also appear. Explain the discourtesy of the Mughal Empire, or who was Nana Sahib, who was Wajid Ali Shah. It is the small questions which may appear, which will appear in the first chapter. From the first chapter in the board examination, question will definitely appear. So everybody has to be prepared about that. So if we talk about the sixth reason, floating rumors. Now there were rumors about the among the Indian people about the British Empire, that within 100 years the British Empire will vanish, will pass away, or within 100 years the rule of the British Empire will be over. If you remember the year of the Battle of Plassey, 1757, it is the year of the Battle of Plassey. So in 1857 is going to complete 1 year. 1857, the total difference is 1 year. So after 1 year, people started thinking that after 1 year the rule of the British Empire will be over. So let's prepare for the rebellion. So let's prepare for the rebellion to expel the British officers or the British Empire. So these were the main causes, the main political causes of the revolt. I hope everybody has been able to understand this. So let's move to the socio-religious cause. Some of the socio-religious cause of the revolt were as follows. Abolition of sati. There were many steps which were taken by the British Empire to destroy our Indian culture. Abolition of sati practice was also one of them. 1829, the sati practice was abolished, although it was a kind of a modernization which was started by Ram Mohan Roy. Legalization of the Widow Remarriage Act. Widow could also remarriage. So these were the acts which were passed by the British people, but the Orthodox Indian people did not accept this in true heart. The Orthodox Indian people were against all these practices. The Orthodox Indian people, the Indian people, wanted the sati practice. They wanted that the widow should not remarry. So all these steps taken by the British Empire, which although had the modernization character, but Indian people did not accept this. Indian people thought that the British Empire is destroying our culture and the religion. We have to protest these practices anyhow. So it was the first and most important social or religious cause which was responsible for the revolt of 1857. So let's move ahead. The Orthodox Indian felt humiliated to note that in the railway compartment, the Brahmin people and the backward classes were made to sit side by side. So as the railway was introduced in India, it was not looked after with a very important manner. In the railway, if you can imagine, there is no such issues of the caste. No caste issues are there. Everybody can sit anywhere. Anybody can sit anywhere. So no caste, no untouchability. No untouchability was there in the railway. So the upper caste Brahmins did not accept this. They thought that it is an attempt to destroy our culture, our religion. So it was also, the introduction of railway was also important cause for the revolt of 1857. Now, the second one, conversion into Christianity. The Christian missionaries were converting the Indian people into the Christianity. The Christian missionaries were using abusive language to the Indian gods, and they were doing their best attempt to Christianize the people. So the conversion into Christianity was also an important cause. Anyhow, the Indian people were being converted into Christianity by the Christian missionaries, and so the Indian people thought that their religion is in danger. So I hope that you have been able to understand these 2 points. So let's move ahead. You can write down the main points because these are the excellent notes. 100% marks is already assured if you write these notes. Let's move. The temples and the mosques. The government of British Empire also taxed the temples and the mosque and the priests and the charitable institutions, that whatever the income is coming from the temple or from the mosque, everything you have to pay the taxes also. But in the present time, the government, if we compare with the present time, it is non-taxable. Whatever the income the priests are getting, it is not taxable, because tax cannot be imposed on the religious grounds. On the basis of religion, Indian people are free, but at the time of the British Empire, it was taxable. So it was also not proper. Fear regarding the English education. One by one, gradually, in Indians, the English education, English schools was being opened by the British people. The English education was being introduced into India by the English schools and colleges. So before before that, we had Gurukul system and we had the madrasas, but it was actually being closed, and the English education were being started by the British people. English education. So if the English schools are started in the India by the British people, so what the Pandits and the Maulvis will do? All the Pandits and the Maulvis were jobless. Pandits and the Maulvis, they were becoming jobless and they were not happy with the British Empire. So it was also another social cause behind the revolt of 1857. I hope you can write down the main points, and whatever words are written in the red color, it is the subheading. You can use it as the subheading to start your point. Subheadings are very important. Now, shifting of the education, as I have said recently, the shifting of the education was also not accepted by the Pandits and the Maulvis of India at the time of the revolt of 1857. and all these factors created a background for the revolt of 1857. These all factors contributed simultaneously, which paved the way for the revolt of 1857. Let's move. So up to this, we are ending our lesson. In the second video, we will discuss about the military cause. We will discuss about the military cause as well as the consequences of the revolt of 1857. We will have a detailed discussion about the consequences of the revolt of 1857 as well as the military cause. Whatever we have discussed is the political cause and the social religious cause. We also discussed about the introduction of the revolt of 1857. Thank you for being with us and watching the video. This is my email ID. If you want to ask any question, you can directly contact me on this email ID. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more and more updates. Thank you.